1212 in the place to be. Check it out. Check it out, y'all. Put a one in the chat. If y'all can hear me, put a one in the chat, man. It's the lunchtime chat with your boy Heaven Hollywood. Shout out to everybody checking me out on Twitch, on Twitter. Shout out to everybody on YouTube as well. We're going to get into a little lunchtime chat here. I'm live on Twitter. I'm live on Twitch. What's up? Why did I scroll past a post about this? Then you went live. Yep, I'm telling you. I'm on it. I'm on it because everything that happened today, we're going to talk about Latto's interview and everything that I said. Like I told y'all, listen, man. It may not have been with Atlantic Records or may not have been with Young Money or with Republic, but it's all pretty much the same all over the entertainment industry. And from the time I got in to the time I pretty much got out and started my own media company, it was 21 and a half years spread across different businesses, different companies, whether it's been Crave Records, whether it's been Capitol Records, whether it was the porn industry, whether it was ESPN, right? You pretty much end up seeing the same thing when it's all said and done, right? And I've seen these situations. So if you've seen one, you've seen them all. I may not have been involved in this situation, but I've seen situations just like this. I've seen situations just like this. And I told y'all from the beginning, right? I told y'all from the beginning that that audio leaked right after Latto and Ice Spice got cool. Okay? Right after Latto and Ice Spice got cool. And the reason why, in my opinion, I can't confirm this, but in my opinion, Ice Spice people who Ice Spice was already in a beef with Cardi B. In my opinion, Ice Spice people leaked that audio to let Latto hear the things Cardi B was saying about her behind closed doors. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Because why else would the audio leak? Right around the time after they had made up. Now, Latto, when she was told about Cardi B talking about her, right? Remember, her and Ice Spice had this conversation when they were spending that time together, recording their song, right? And also recording their song and also doing their stream together. Okay? Doing their stream together. I'm gonna tell you a little story, and you can ask either one of them, and they'll tell you. They won't be able to tell you that I'm lying. Listen to this. I'm gonna put together how this happened and exactly what happened. Okay? Ice Spice people, from what Latto says, calls up Latto. And they're saying, hey, Let's reconcile this, that, and the other, right? Now, Ice Spice's manager is a dirtbag. He's messy. He's a dirtbag. He came up in the industry as under a father who was messy, right? Ice Spice's manager's father was messy, all right? And, a lot of violence surrounds him and a lot of controversy. So his son is Ice Spice's manager. So do I believe that after this argument with Latto and Ice Spice, they was destined to release that audio? Yes, because to my belief, remember, Latto and Ice Spice, they made up before the record. They made up at least couple of months before the record came out. Remember, they have to plan the record, they gotta write the record. So that means they made up a couple of months prior. You don't make up. You don't just call somebody up and say, "Hey, let's do music," and then you go in the studio the next day. You got a song. No, the song had to get written. They had to link up. They live in two different places. They got to find time in their schedule to link up. They had to book the Kai thing. Ice Spice was able to do that because Ice Spice had a personal relationship with Kai Cenat, right? So, and Latto's sister had been on there as well, so they all know Kai Cenat. So that's why they got with Kai Cenat, linked up to promo this song. But Latto knew from the time her and Ice Spice were spending time together that this conversation happened with Cardi B. Okay? She knew that. She knew that. What Latto was waiting on was for Cardi B to fess up. Because at first, I'm pretty sure Latto didn't think, Cardi probably didn't say that. Maybe Ice is over exaggerated. Because remember, she didn't hear the footage. She didn't hear the audio. So Latto, because she's texting now, like, and what did she say in her interview? Me and Cardi, we're on a texting basis now. We were on a texting basis. I told y'all this. I told y'all that we're looking at a Drake LeBron situation, but just not as deep. Latto's figuring, hey, we're texting back and forth all the time now. On top of that, you're real cool with my man. She knows that I'm with 21 Savage, and the world doesn't, even though the world speculated. She knows that I'm pregnant. Like, she knows all these things. We're cool. So when that comes out, again, I try to tell people, take it out that it's Latto and Cardi B. Forget that. Forget that it's Latto and Cardi B. Put your own self in that situation. Put your own self in that situation. Don't think of it as Latto and Cardi B. Think of it as you, and take one of people who you consider a friend, right? Who you consider a friend, y'all are locked in, y'all text each other, hey girl, what you doing? This, that, and the other. Y'all have made money together. You're like, oh, okay, you told her that you're pregnant. She's pregnant. Y'all are pregnant at the same time, right? She knows your man. She's cool with him. So y'all are locked in. Think of that. Take a friend of yours and then find out on the internet that this friend is talking shit about you. You're gonna tell me you wouldn't feel some type of way? All of y'all that's out there saying that, you're lying. If you unless you really don't care for that person like that, that would hurt you. Any time you, I know for a fact the people that I consider my friends, right? That means I can confide in them in certain things. I talk to them about certain things. If I find out certain people that are talking, I'm like, whoa. So that means this is the way you felt about me this whole entire time? Really? You know what I mean? But again, Kenji, I'm not saying it wasn't that to Cardi. I'm thinking it was more than that to Latto. That's what I'm thinking. Because when you look across the industry, and I don't know Latto, but I know people who know Latto, right? And what I was told about Latto is it's very hard for her to trust people in the industry, especially women. All right, it's hard for her to trust men as well because a lot of men have done some foul shit to Latto, right? But that's why she stays tight knit with her sister. She don't really have a lot of friends like that in the industry. Cardi B, from what I was told, and like I said, I don't know Latto. We did not have this conversation. She did not tell me this. But people who know Latto in ATL, they told me that Latto was really thinking, okay, this is my girl. Like we get money together. They think about we doing music. They were supposed to do more music. They had 2 or 3 songs that they were scheduled to do together, right? So they were scheduled to do more music together. So she's thinking this is my homegirl. They're like, I finally got a friend, that's cool. Like we hang out, we at the club. You know what I mean? She got my back. I mean, she came and helped me put it on the floor. You know what I mean? Does it help that you both have a common enemy? Of course it does. But that is not, oh, they only get together and like each other because she like, no, that has nothing to do with it. Does it help when the same people, when you don't like the same person? Of course it does. That's something you have in common. We both don't fuck with this bitch right here. But that wasn't the basis of their whole relationship. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the basis of their whole relationship. Because Cardi B ain't never fucked with Nicki Minaj. You know what I mean? Latto, up until a couple of years ago, like she liked Nicki Minaj. But as they say, your idols become your rivals. Like Cardi B's never liked Nicki Minaj. So it's not even like, oh yeah, we're gonna both link up because we both don't like Nicki Minaj. No. But does it help if you got something in common? Of course. Of course. So the thing is, Lotto's now hearing from Ice Spice, and again, I don't know if this the exact words that was said, but I'd be willing to bet one of my 2 homes that it went down something very similar to this, right? And you can pick whatever home you want, Toronto or New York. I can't give you my home in Atlanta and my baby mama living in there. So, yes, my baby mother is my tenant. Anyway, so when this audio leaks And I saw people saying, "Oh yeah, well that's shady because they leak the audio and then and then they go and link up." No, no, they linked up before the audio got leaked. And remember, when you see them do their music together, you have to at least tack on a month and a half to 2 months prior. Because like I said, they made up, they had the conversation, then they gotta, you know, meet with each other to decide on the music. The labels gotta sign whatever contracts gotta be signed. You know what I mean? So all that stuff takes place before you see them on Kai Sanat and you see the music video drop. Right? So you gotta say at least a month and a half, 2 months prior. Right? So now we're gonna get to Nicki and Cardi B. But what I was talking about with this is I see a lot of Cardi B fans upset. But if y'all had to just listen to me, I told y'all, I'm not gonna tell you a lie. I might tell you some stories, I might tell you a joke, but I ain't never gonna tell y'all no lie. I'm not gonna make shit up. I'm not gonna give you no misinformation. If I don't know, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not like these other content creators that come on here and throw stuff out there because they hear just like, oh, people making videos about a sex tape of Beyonce's. Like has no proof, no evidence, ain't never had no evidence. Nobody ever said that they have that tape, but people are still making content about it. I don't do stuff like that. I don't do stuff like that. Right? So with this situation, from the beginning, I was right. Now, Latto hears this audio after she's done the song. After she's done the song, she now hears the audio, and the reason what she meant was by "you think I'm Latto" is she had already heard they had reconciled and they had made up and they had got good. Because I said it happened months prior. That's why she was saying, "You think I'm Latto?" Like I'm not forgiving you. I'm not a pushover. I'm not non-confrontational. Now she said in her statement, Cardi B said in her statement, what I said is not what I meant. I really meant I'm not a pushover and you're too forgiving. And that's what I said she meant by it, right? But Cardi's mouth is reckless. Cardi's emotional, her mouth is reckless. And on top of that, yes, I will throw in. I'll give her a pet and throw in hormones. But I'm also gonna throw if I'm gonna give Cardi a pass and say hormones, then I gotta give Latto that same pass because she was pregnant as well, right? So you gotta give if we're gonna give one a pass for hormones. Cardi was going through a lot: relationships, divorce, the pregnancy. I get it. I get it. However, if she had said, Latto, and I'm not forgiving like that. Latto better than me. You know what I mean? Something like that. Latto better than me because I'm not forgiving. So when she says it, and she said it numerous times, so she had an opportunity to correct herself. Now, that's not even the worst part. That's not even the worst part. Because I can almost guarantee you, right? I can almost guarantee you that if Cardi B, right, And listen, we're in 2025, 2020. We're in the generation of recording people. We all know that Cardi B recorded all my Wiggins. That was, and he had a problem with that. So everybody got phones. Everybody's iPhone records conversation. Everybody's conversation is recorded. And when you speak to somebody on the phone, you need to be under the impression, without them saying anything, that they are recording your phone call. It is 2026, or at that time, 2025. Everybody's recording each other because they want to hold it as some sort of proof later on. So there is no way Cardi B could not have known she was being recorded. And I said it, and Latto pretty much said it in her interview. Cardi B knows, and I feel as though I always have to say this, because if there's some people from Barty Gang that's never heard me, they would say, oh, you don't like Cardi. I fuck with Cardi B hard. I fuck with Cardi B hard. Anybody can tell you that. But I'm not a glazer. Even though I love her music, I love her personality, I fuck with Cardi B. I think she's got a great heart, right? I love her come up story. I fuck with Cardi B. But I'm not a bootlicker, and I'm not, I don't worship anybody. So I'm not, if you do something wrong, I'm going to call you out on that too, because that's part of my job. Of being objective. You know, just because I like you, I'm not going to say every song you put out is hot. I'm not going to say everything you do, like there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to make excuses. Like a lot of her fan pages, they're making excuses, and they don't want to hold her accountable to anything. I'm not like that. I'm all about accountability. I'm all about accountability, right? In every situation, you need to be held accountable, especially when you're grown folks. Now, if Cardi B, and Latto pretty much said this without saying it, if Cardi B, knowing that this phone call was probably recorded, knowing that Latto and Ice Spice are now cool, Cardi B should have went to Latto right away, a day or 2 or 3 after this phone call happened, and said, look, I just want to let you know, just in case this ever comes up, or just in case they ever try to expose me. I got into an argument with that bitch the other day on the phone, and because I was heated, emotional, pregnant, hormones, I name dropped you, and I shouldn't have. But I didn't mean it the way it came out. What I meant was, you know, I'm not as forgiving as you, because you're forgiving. You forgave the bitch. I wouldn't have. I'm just not forgiving at you. And you know, because of my emotional hormone, I said, oh, I ain't pussy like Latto. But I'm just letting you know, before you, if in case you ever hear it, I'm coming to you woman to woman to let you know that I said that. And I guarantee you, and I didn't mean it, I apologize. Now, this is before the video dropped. I guarantee you, Latto would have acted different. I guarantee you, when that audio dropped, Latto would say, oh yeah, we already talked about it. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Right. Kenji, and again, yeah, I get it. However, it's not whether, sometimes it's not about whether you apologize. It's about when you apologize. What did Rihanna say? Don't you say you're sorry because you're not. Cause we know you're only sorry you got caught. Like, when somebody apologizes, right? For perfect example, if my daughter, if something happens in school, right? And I say to my daughter, "How was school?" And she says, "Oh, fine." Did anything happen? No, nothing happened, right? And then a week later, I get an email from her teacher that says, "Oh yeah, there was an incident that happened about a week ago. Your daughter, woo, 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 and she wasn't listening or such and such and such." And then I pick my daughter up from school, and I'm like, "Yo, why did you tell me? Why did you mention to me that you got into an altercation at school? Or why did you mention to me that you got in touch with your teacher?" "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Okay, yeah, you're sorry now because I brought it up to you. You had a week. You had 2 weeks to tell me about this. So if the teacher never would have emailed me, would you be sorry right now? That's the difference. The difference is, instead of her coming home and I say, "Hey, how was school today?" Or, "Dad, I got to tell you something. I want to tell you something happened in school today, and I'm sorry. I wasn't listening. When our teacher told me to put away whatever, I didn't put away. I was on my phone, secretly on my phone." But if she come home and says that and confesses, I'm not going to be as mad, and I forgive her. I forgive her. You know what I mean? It's different. It's different. And to say I'm apologizing publicly and I'll buy her a bag privately, as it's like I could be bought. Like, are you trying to say I could be bought? So because you could buy me, you gonna buy me a bag, and that's gonna make me forget that you called me pussy? No. No, sis. You don't need to buy me no bag. What you needed to do was come to me woman to woman and let me know how you really felt about me. That's what you should have did. Fuck your bag. That's materialistic. I don't want your bag. My nigga can buy me a bag. What? I don't want your bag. You think that's gonna make up? You know what I mean? That's my point. That's my point. That's the point I was making. So when Latto went on stage and was saying pussy, 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 I said that is for Cardi B. That is for Cardi B. And when she miraculously took Cardi B's verse off, when she always plays her put it on the floor verse. Always. Even when Cardi ain't there, Latto always plays her verse. This time she didn't. This time she didn't. And I said, this is for Cardi B. Oh no, Cardi gang. You always want to start trouble. You always want to start something. You did the same thing with Cardi and Meg. Okay, just because I missed on one thing, that don't mean I missed on another thing. And I didn't really miss on Cardi and Megan. I was going on what Cardi B said. Me and Megan don't really talk much anymore. That came out of her mouth. So I was basing it on that. You know what I mean? So, because I do believe that at some point they had a little disagreement, meaning Megan and Cardi B. But I think that the disagreement wasn't, like one talking behind one's back or whatever. I think it had something to do with the partisan shit. I really believe it had something to do with the partisan shit. And Cardi probably sat down, they had a conversation and said, "Look, I'm not involved in that. I don't talk about you when I'm with him. I don't talk about him when I'm with you. So cool." So that's what I believe happened with them. And I think they ironed it out. But just because I was off on that, that don't mean I'm off on this. Because I'm rarely off about these type of shit. And while I agree, yes, Cardi B did apologize. But something like that, for you to say in public, and now I'm a privately buy her bag, well, it ain't private no more. It ain't private no more, sis. You just told everybody you're going to buy her a bag. So it's not private anymore. That's public too. Because you've now publicly said you're going to buy her a bag. So it ain't private no more. It's not private anymore, sis. What are you talking about? Yeah, so Kenji, it like a lot of people was not really recognizing it. But when you see people always interacting, always remember when Cardi B and Megan were on real good terms. Cardi was talking about her during interviews. Cardi would repost something that she got. Cardi would repost a picture and say, "Oh, she looks good," or comment under her video hearts. But all that shit stopped. All of that stuff stopped, and it stopped right around the time of the whole situation with Partisan Fontaine. So anyway, then we have, so back to this situation. The reason why I said I don't really have no problem with how Latto reacted is because I'm putting myself in that situation with one of my guys. I already gave the analogy. I don't need to give the analogy again. I gave the analogy with Darius. Darius totally agree with what I said. I gave the analogy with Darius, like my one of my main moderators, right? So their situation, Latto felt as though they were close. It's the same thing with Drake and LeBron, except Drake and LeBron, of course, was closer, but it's the same thing. LeBron felt like, I'm just dancing. The song is hot. And if Drake put out a hot record, I'm going to do the same thing. Nah, Drake is like, nah, my nigga, like, you're dancing to a song when this dude is calling me a PDF. You're supposed to be my boy. It's not like LeBron is Chris Brown. You see, Drake didn't say nothing to Chris Brown because Chris Brown ain't Drake's friend like that. Chris Brown ain't Drake's friend like that. You know what I mean? Latto don't get along with Coi Leray. So if audio came out of Coi Leray calling Latto pussy, Latto wouldn't give a damn. Right? But you're supposed to be my boy. When your son got hurt, I went flying out to LA. You know what I mean? I went flying out to LA when your son got hurt. And then this dude is calling me a PDF. And you know that bothers me because I'm not. And I got to look up and see my right-hand man. We spend vacations together in Toronto every summer. And you talk about something, certified, verified, whack. Hey, mine, you dancing all hard. Like, you supposed to be my nigga. I don't see Steph Curry doing that. And you closer to me than Steph. You supposed to be closer to me than KD. I don't see KD doing that. Steph Curry was like, all right, y'all can turn this off now. You supposed to be my ace. And you dancing to a song where dudes call me a PDF. No, that's not okay. That's not okay because you supposed to be better now. Oh, but Chris Brown was dancing. Chris Brown ain't my man. Chris Brown ain't my man like that. I don't spend vacations with Chris Brown. You know what I mean? I didn't go flying if I hear that Chris Brown friend or Chris Brown's daughter is sick, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go flying to LA to check on Chris Brown's daughter. We not close like that. But the moment I found out something was wrong with Bronny, I flew out to LA. And you dancing and singing a song, doing the shimmy shimmy cocoa pop and everything else to a song where niggas call me a PDF, yo, you damn right you gonna catch some bars. And I'm not fucking with you no more. So, and again, he said, Kenny said, my only thing is Cardi portray herself as this loving girl, and she out here moving totally different in private. Yeah, so again, and that's something that she's gonna have to hold on her own, because now a lot of people, maybe even though they're not saying it, a lot of people may look at this situation and say, "Oh, okay. See, I thought she was a real bitch, but now I even gotta watch out for her because this came out. If she said this about Latto, what do you think people like Megan and Glorilla, when they saw this, they're probably like, damn, I wonder if she says the same shit about me behind closed doors. Now, of course, she ain't gonna say Megan pussy, because Megan ain't forgive none of these chicks that went against her. So she definitely can't say Megan pussy. But Megan might be thinking, I wonder if this bitch call me a hoe, like behind my back. I wonder if she laugh. You know what I mean? Even though she saying, oh, I'm here for you, girl, this and that. I wonder if she be laughing at me that, these niggas keep cheating on me, or heartbroken, or these niggas saying they smashed. I wonder if I wouldn't have thought that. But now I done seen she talk shit about Latto. I'm telling you, that's how people will start thinking. They're like, well, damn, if she did that about Latto, she might do the same shit to me. I didn't think Cardi was like that. You know what I'm saying? That and a person has a right to say, not saying that Cardi B's talking about Megan Thee Stallion, but Megan Thee Stallion or anyone else would have a right, after something like this came out, they would have a right to think, damn, maybe she's talking about me too. Oh, I gotta make sure I gotta be more careful. I seen the response. And once again, I comment on the response, and I said, this is exactly what I said. She said, I didn't mean it that way. What I meant was, I'm not as forgiving as you. Darius, did I not say that? Did I not say that? I said, if she had said, I'm not as forgiving as Latto, I'm non-confrontational. Yeah, Cardi's cool with academics. I don't get it. I don't get it, because academics has shitted on Cardi plenty of times. And she got mad at Joe Button, and academics will say the same shit. You know what I mean? Academics is the one that put out there that she was smashing Stephon Diggs before anybody else. I don't know why she didn't get mad at academics. Academics is not a friend. I don't understand, and neither is Jason Lee. I don't give a damn how much he said. Neither is Jason Lee. Now, maybe the other dude is, the Ken Barbie dude. Jason Lee, I wouldn't trust Jason Lee. I would not trust Jason Lee. I mean, so I have no problem with Latto feeling the way she feels. She has every right. She has every right to feel that way. Like, it's not a fact of you saying sorry. The fact is, you was smiling in my face like we was cool. How could you say you got the utmost respect for me and then not come out your mouth? Because, even if you would have came to me and said, yo, listen, Latto, like, I know I can't tell you what to do, whatever, but I'm sorry. If that was me after this girl had said, oh, I'm not even a fart and this, that, and the other, and was making all these, I'm sorry. I wouldn't be able to fuck with her. You better than me. Like, even if she came and let her know, like, I wish I wouldn't make up with that girl. I mean, you could do what you want, but if I was you, I wouldn't make up with her. I mean, so the fact that you were thinking this about me this whole entire time, like you thinking like, oh, Lotto made up with her, she pussy. And it's not like she said it once and then caught herself like, okay, and then came back with, well, Lotto's way more forgiving than me. I ain't Lotto. I don't forgive you. Or I ain't Lotto. I'm not non-confrontational. Or I'm not a pushover. I'm not a pushover like Lotto. Could have said that. But the pussy thing kind of came out 3 times. So you knew exactly what you called me. And that's and it's cool. It's cool, sis. That's what you really think about me. Cool. I can't look at you the same way. And then there's her fan pages are saying, oh, it's giving I'm gonna do this on the album and maybe it will make up later. No. That is not what Latto said. You could tell from her response, she really don't care whether she ever talks to Cardi B again. Because she said, yeah, I'd be open to a conversation. I don't know when though. So what that was given to me was, if one day we make up, cool. But if we never talk again, it's still cool. Because she don't really fuck with me like that anyway. That's what it was given to me. So I don't know what the fan page is trying to make like, oh, she's trying to use this as a rollout and this and no, and all of these and oh, her and Ice Spice, Ice Spice went and leaked the audio and then made up with Latto, and now Cardi B and Latto ain't friends. Okay, let's play devil's advocate and say that is what Ice Spice wanted to do. This does not work if Cardi B isn't talking shit about Latto. It don't matter about the plan. It don't matter about the plan. Because if they don't have anything to leak, there could have never been a leak. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. Let's say Ice Spice did put this together and did leak it on purpose because she wanted y'all not to fuck with each other no more, and now she fuck with Latto. Let's say she did do that. There would be nothing to leak if Cardi B didn't give them something to leak. That's the thing. That's the thing. So Cardi B responded, and she pretty much said what I said. So will she make up with her if Brooklyn tell her to make up with her? The whole thing is Brooklyn ain't gonna tell her to make up with her, Diana, because from what I was hearing, Brooklyn was popping shit now, because that's the probably reason why she never told Cardi B on Cardi B's response, right? She said, I did reach out to, I spoke to your manager, I spoke to Brooklyn. Well, guess what? Brooklyn was not relaying any messages to her because she was like, oh, hell no. Cardi B said, I truly understand how you feel. And that's exactly why I chose to apologize publicly, because the disrespect became public. On that call, I didn't even mean to call you that. I didn't mean any harm. There's a difference in what I said versus what I meant. What I could have said, chat, the same thing Heaven Hollywood said she could have said. What I could have said was, you was too forgiving and gave too much mercy in that situation. What did I tell y'all? Cardi B knew about Latto and Ice Spice when she was on that call with Ice Spice. She had already knew that they had reconciled. You gave too much mercy in that situation, but it was a heated conversation, and I let my mouth get the best of me. When the call came out, I was 8 months pregnant, had just released my album. It was extremely overwhelming and emotional. That's not to excuse what I said, but to let you know where I was in my head. I generally felt bad about what happened. In 2025 and 26, I made multiple attempts to connect. I spoke with your manager, your sister, and even text you directly to take full responsibility. I always had love and respect for you. I always wanted to make it right, but making it right looks different for the both of us. I wanted to connect with you, but you wanted to address it on your album. So the reason why she didn't respond is because Brooklyn, from what I was told, and Brooklyn, you can correct me if I'm lying. I don't think I am, though. I mean, I wouldn't be lying because I didn't tell myself this. From what I was told, Brooklyn was like, hell no. Because Latto is non-confrontational. And if Brooklyn didn't step in and Latto's people step in, she probably would have, because she is non-confrontational. Brooklyn's like, so if you go and just think about it, she calling you the P word. If you go and just be like, okay, it's cool, you're pretty much confirming what she's calling you. This means she's been feeling this way about you this whole time. And then Latto's probably like, right, that makes sense. You're right. That is fucked up. Sometimes you need people to tell you that you're just so into, you know what? I just don't want no problems. I'm pregnant. I don't want no issues. I just won't say nothing about it. And sometimes you need somebody to pull your coat like, nah, that's fucked up. And if you let this go, that's not going to stop her from talking. She's just going to continue talking about you. Just make sure she don't talk about you on audio next time. But deep down inside, this is what she's really feeling about you. And this is an issue. Y'all can never really be friends if she really thinks you pussy. You're thinking that's your friend. She obviously don't feel as though you're a good friend. So you can't, you're all happy because I finally got this girl who's cool with me. But y'all can never be cool like that because she don't think about you the same way you think about her. And Latto's probably like, you're right. You're right. And the apology and all that's nice. But like I said, it's too late to apologize. Cardi, it's too late. That's the way Latto's saying, like, yo, sis, this apology should have came before the audio got leaked. If the apology came before the audio got leaked, to me, that means you're really sorry and it was bothering you. that you said it. Because if you apologize before the audio leak, you don't even know whether the audio will never leak or not. And you're saying, you know what? She might not ever find out about this, but it's truly bothering me. I truly feel bad that I was talking behind her back, and that's supposed to be my girl. So I'm going to fess up and tell her what I said. About all this, I'm going to be honest with you. Nicki Minaj, right? She don't really, now, I don't really think she's even thinking about Latto or Cardi B. I mean, I really don't think she is thinking about Latto or Cardi B, because Nicki Minaj always had in her mind, look, I'm sure she felt as though all of this shit was going to happen, because let's not forget, Nicki Minaj is the oldest female act that's still active. So when she came out, she saw the female rap game. She saw how everybody at one point was beefing in the female rap game. And yeah, you got a couple. You have a couple of ones, older school people who are cool now. But again, Nicki Minaj is in, she was in the old, she was coming in on the tail end of the old era where there was no social media. But now she's still active in the era where there is social media. So it's a little bit harder now. It's a little bit harder to make up now because of social media, because you're including other people, because other people are involved, because you get something leaked, which is supposed to be private. You know what I'm saying? So all of the women that are cool now, if there was social media when they were around, they probably wouldn't be cool, because I'm sure the ones that are cool now, I'm sure there are conversations in the vault, not recorded, but conversations that they've had with other people where they were shitting on this girl. But it'll never be revealed. It's a secret that never be revealed. It wasn't recorded, but not, for instance, Latifah and Missy are close, right? Latifah and Missy are close. We don't know if in 1998 or 2003, Latifah was talking with Kim and they were sitting on Missy. We don't know that. It could have happened. You know what I mean? But again, that conversation is going to go to the grave because there was no social media. It didn't get recorded. So then you can act like it never happened. You can take those secrets to the grave and y'all can move on because you never knew about it. It's harder to do that now because of social media. Right? And I'm sure this is probably no surprise to Nicki Minaj. She's probably like, yeah, I'm not surprised. The bitch did it to me with Ice Spice. You saw what happened. You saw what happened with Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj. Ice Spice was talking behind Nicki Minaj's back. And what happened? If those DMs didn't ever get leaked, she would have never knew nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure Nicki Minaj is like, this don't surprise me. She's not know like, oh, I told you. After what happened with her and Ice Spice, she probably saying, oh, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time because that's the way the game go. Now there are somebody said, oh, there's no friends in the game, but that's not completely true. because there are some people who met in the industry that are still friends, but they, you're talking older school, like Kim and Mary. From what I know, they're still sisters. Kim and Mary been friends a long time. Um, Latifah and who's Latifah real close with? MC Light or something along those lines. Moni Love. You know what I'm saying? Latifah and Moni Love. Now, who knows? Moni Love at some point may have been talking behind Latifah back. But there's no way to prove that because there was no social media. There is no recording. And the person that she was talking to behind Latifah's back probably ain't never said nothing. You know what I'm saying? So the girls that was able to move on, it was easier to move on then. And hell, who knows? Kim and Mary may have even got it. Kim may have been talking shit about Mary at some point. But Mary will never know about it. Or vice versa. Kim will never know about it because we're in different times. It was easier to move on when you had no social media. So Nicki Minaj probably like, that's no surprise. The chick did the same thing to me. Ice Spice was talking shit about me, and we were doing records together. You know? But do I think Latto and Nicki Minaj is gonna do music? I don't think so. I don't think so. I was totally shocked. I'll be honest with you. I was shocked that Nicki Minaj put JT on her record after JT pulled that stunt, that diss record at Nicki in the Standard Third. I was actually shocked that Nicki Minaj forgave her and put on a record, but she don't really. Look, the thing about Nicki Minaj is she don't really truly forgive you. A lot of these people think, and like I said, I don't know her like that. I've met her about 5 times in my life, but my cousin knew her very well growing up, and I know Sagittarius, and you don't think she heard all the shit Tasha K said about her, right? You don't think Tasha K thinks, oh, it's all good. She forgave me. No, she didn't. But she's just gonna use you for what she can use you for. But she don't really trust Tasha K like that. My girl Millie, shout out to Millie. You don't think she heard all the shit Milagro said about her in the past? Right? You don't think she heard all that shit? What y'all think? She just forgave Millie? Nah. And she never really forgave JT. That's why it was so easy for her to cut JT off again. Right? That's why it's so easy for her to cut JT off again. And she'll cut Tasha off quick. She just uses Tasha for media, and she knows whatever she tells Tasha, she knows Tasha's going to repeat. So that's just another way of spreading a narrative If I tell her something and it's in confidence, I know she can't hold water. So if I want something to really get out there, I'll tell her because I know that she can't hold water. Right, to record. I'm telling you, they all record each other. They all record each other. And like I said, Nicki Minaj is the oldest one. So she kind of, you're going to see her. You ain't really going to see Nicki on the phone with chicks like that. You know what I mean? You're not going to see her on the phone and talking to these ratchets like that on the phone. You know, you can text or DM me. You know what I mean? Even if I invite you out to here, I'm not going to be like having conversations with you on the telephone. No, you can talk to me in my DM. I'm not even really going to give you my phone number like that. Just DM me. Well, she has another phone. She also has a dummy phone, what they call it, where it's just a phone number, like a text me or something like that. She has a phone for that, for strictly for people, other artists. Like none of these artists got Nicki Minaj's real number. Like the only people that got that is like Nettie and Karen Civil and people like that. They have her phone number. But these industry chicks and these reality girls, they don't got her phone number. She give them like a text me number or something like that she keeps on. All the industry people, reality girls and stuff like that, they text me on this number. But her phone that she got with Bell or T-Mobile or wherever she got her with, none of these chicks have that number. Trust me. Probably only about 10 people got Nicki Minaj's phone number. And you're talking her mama, her husband, probably Nettie and Patty Duke and Karen Civil. Hell, Karen Civil may not even have it. You know what I mean? So people like that, she gives the phone, her actual phone number to. But people wanted to say, oh, I heard she was in the studio. As far as the studio goes, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj. I just did a video on my Patreon about Nicki Minaj and Jay Z and what it would take for them to come amends. And somebody asked me, "Oh, what do you think the road for Cardi B and Nicki Minaj to that? There is no road. That's done. That's done. It's just like how people talk about Jay and Kanye. That's done. Oh, Jay gonna forgive Kanye because he gonna put cut. No, no, he isn't. Jay Z will never talk to Kanye West again unless it's to tell him he gonna fuck him up. That line's already been drawn. Whenever you talk about, I don't think she was gonna forgive Cardi B anyway because of the incident. But whenever y'all start mentioning each other's kids and stuff, nah, that's a line to be drawn. There is no coming back from that. There is no coming back from that. But Jay Z and Nicki Minaj, like I said, y'all just gotta go watch the video. That's more like a miscommunication. I'm not gonna say a misunderstanding. That's a miscommunication issue and a clarity issue. That's what those two issues are about. Plus, on top of that, like I always told people, Nicki always had a thing for Jay-Z. So people can try to not admit it or say, "Oh, why would she want?" Well, why would Beyonce want him? Why would Blue Cantrell want him? Why would Rosario Dawson want him? Why would Free want him? Like, there's just certain guys and certain men that, because of their allure, because of their energy, because of their intelligence, because of their whatever, you don't think physical. And on top of that, just because you think Jay-Z's ugly, that don't mean the next chick thinks Jay-Z's ugly. That's like me with the Maori twins. Everybody's like, how can you say they're ugly? They're ugly to me. That's my taste. I don't think they're good looking. But not every guy thinks them. I don't think Vanessa Simmons is attractive. I mean, Angela Simmons. I'm not attracted to Angela Simmons. But not everybody's going to think that. There's guys who dated Angela Simmons and who wanted Angela Simmons. I'm just saying, I'm not attracted to Angela Simmons. But I look at Jay-Z the same way I look at Pete Davidson. And you can't say, they with Pete Davidson for the money. He ain't got money like that. How the hell Pete Davidson pull all them women? All them beautiful women going after Pete Davidson. You can't say it's the money, because that's the thing they always try to run with Jay-Z. Oh, it's because of the money. Well, Jay-Z wasn't always a billionaire. He wasn't no billionaire when he first got with Beyonce. He wasn't nowhere, and there were guys out there who had more money than Jay-Z when he got with Beyonce. Everything ain't always about superficial bullshit. Nicki Minaj said out of her mouth, with a smile on her face, I was always attracted to smart guys. And Jay-Z's the smartest. So what was that telling you? She just said she was always attracted to smart men, and Jay-Z was the smartest. So she's telling you she was attracted to Jay-Z. But as the time goes on and I start thinking back, just like on my video on the Patreon. No, I put on Twitter. The photos that I took when I covered Nicki Minaj in 2011 for Diddy. Going into 2011, Diddy was still managing her. She did a New Year's Eve party in Miami. And Diddy said, yeah, Playboy, I want y'all to come out. I want Block TV to film it. I want them to film it, Nicki Minaj is my artist, and I want all that documented. And we had already filmed a couple of parties from Diddy. So we was like, okay, cool. We'll go film the Nicki party for you. That party in Miami, she wanted Jay-Z to co-host with her. Jay-Z stood her up, and I believe he went to Vegas. I'm not sure. But all that night, get Jay-Z, contact Jay-Z. And she had a nigga too. Safari was there. She was with Safari. Contact Jay-Z. Get Jay-Z on the phone. And if you don't believe me, go tweet Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan was there. Lindsay Lohan was there. She'll vouch it. She'll vouch for the story because Lindsay Lohan, um, she was in VIP. Drake was there. Drake was there. Um, Lindsay Lohan was there. Which Kardashian was there? Not Kim. Courtney. Courtney and Chloe. Because Chloe Chloe came from Chloe came from the Trey Songz joint. Chloe came from the Trey Songz party. Chloe and Courtney was there. Chloe and Courtney was there. And she was like, get Jay-Z, get Jay-Z. Contact Jay-Z. You better contact Jay-Z. She was upset that Jay did not come to that party. So she's always had a thing for Jay-Z. And my people that was kind of used to always say, she was low-key tight when Jay-Z married Beyonce. Low-key tight. But it's something about Jay-Z. Rachel Roy wanted Jay-Z. She didn't really want Dame Dash. She wanted Dame Dash because she settled for Dame Dash. But Rachel Roy wanted Jay-Z. Aaliyah wanted Jay-Z. She just went with Dame to get back at Jay-Z. Aaliyah wanted Jay-Z. She didn't want Dame Dash. Women was not liking Dame Dash like that because he was arrogant. They felt as though he had a bad attitude towards women. He would always talk down to women, pour champagne on their head and shit like that. Women wasn't liking Dame Dash like that. Dame tries to go around and because he knows Jay is not going to sit down and be like, stop it. But Choke No Joke already said, Choke No Joke is someone who was there. And he don't even like Jay-Z, so he has no reason to lie for Jay. And he said, Dame was always coming behind Jay. Jay had Aaliyah first. Rachel Roy wanted Jay. When she couldn't get Jay, she got with Dame. Azalea Banks even said that she believes Nicki Minaj only put Kanye on the record because she felt as though she can get Jay on the record. And that would get Jay on the record. And she said the same thing. Women only really be around Kanye because they wanted to get to Jay-Z. The whole Aaliyah Jay-Z thing, and Nicki Minaj she wasn't at that Hamptons joint. But Lady Luck was. Go ask Lady Luck. She got no reason to lie. Go ask Lady Luck. Lady Luck was with Def Jam. I was with Def Jam at that time. Go ask Lady Luck. Did Aaliyah not charter a helicopter? So for all the people like Dame Dash who says, oh, he never effed Aaliyah. Leah never liked him like that. She friend zoned him. Well, then if she friend zoned him, why did she charter a helicopter to try to catch him cheating on her? Aaliyah. God bless her soul. Ask Lady Luck. Why did Aaliyah charter a helicopter to try to fly to the Hamptons to catch Jay-Z in the act if she didn't really like Jay-Z? And Dame Dash got Aaliyah The same way Meek Mill got Nicki Minaj by saying, "Yeah, he out there. I heard he talking to so and so, and Rosario Dawson. He talking to Rosario Dawson, and he talking to Brandy. And you know, Brandy when he said Brandy and Aaliyah didn't get along. Brandy and Aaliyah didn't get along. Yeah, I heard he be JB. He be out there with other chicks. Kenya Moore, you know, Miss USA. So he in there dropping all, you know. I'm just saying, I'm not telling you what I'm not hating or nothing, but you know. And then when Aaliyah found that out, when Dame Dash told her that, that's when she said, you know what? F this dude. What you doing tonight, Dame? And then they went out on a date. That's how he got Aaliyah. So he tries to act like he was so in love with Aaliyah. He was messing with Rachel when he was with Aaliyah because less than 9 months after Aaliyah passed, Rachel was pregnant. Do believe Meek abused Nicki. I don't think Nicki Minaj would make that up. I don't think she would make that up. But the whole thing is, when you do something like that, if they know you don't have no proof, when they know you don't got no proof, he can open. Well, what's he talking about? What's he talking about? I ain't did none of that, girl. She bugging. I ain't never touched that girl. What's she talking about? See, it's not what about. It's not about what you know. It's about what you can prove. And Meek Mill know that Nicki Minaj never called the police, never went to a doctor, never went to a hospital, never even told Jay-Z or Beyonce. She didn't mention it to Jay-Z or Beyonce until her and Meek were done. Once her and Meek was done, then she mentioned it to them. But by then, Jay-Z was managing Meek. So if Nicki Minaj is in the studio, which I don't think she is, I didn't hear anything about her going and recording no music or no record at Jay-Z, because if she was, I think she would have did that already. I think, you know, she threw little shots on PF2, or whatever that record was, or I guess the New Orleans record. Oh, NFL fire niggas and then call us, or whatever the case may be. PF2 came out, I'm gonna assume, after they were beefing. She threw little shots on fractions or whatever the case may be. But I really can't see her going to the studio and doing no record about Jay-Z. I can't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think this with Jay-Z was a one-off. I think he was responding to everybody who's been talking about him. Now, if this cease and desist is true, if this cease and desist is true, because Nicki Minaj had not said anything, even leading up to this picnic, she not say anything. And Alex, her little boyfriend, he tweeted something when Jay-Z said something about Nicki Minaj. He tweeted something and took it down right away. Like Nicki probably told him, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that because they're going to blame it on me. And Alex took that tweet down immediately. So the rumor of the cease and desist or the warning letter, which comes before cease and desist, it's kind of like a don't do that letter, or I'm warning you bitch letter, as we used to call it. The letter that comes before the cease and desist, we used to call it a shut the fuck up bitch letter. Right? So if it's true, she can't respond unless she responds with a subliminal. You know what I mean? If she responds with a subliminal, but I don't really see that. I haven't heard about her doing that. She's kind of like not in that mode, you know? She's kind of like not in that mode. And on top of that, her label, unless she just goes rogue, her label ain't gonna sign off on her dissing Jay-Z. It's not gonna do it. Her label ain't gonna sign off on it. You know, so I don't see her responding. Maybe she comes on Twitter and says stuff like, "Oh, you know, such and such and such people don't want you to talk, but they could talk about you," or so and so and so. You know, because I would have think by now she would have came back with some tweets or something. But you have to remember, she's now in a MAGA space. She's now in a MAGA space, and she's calling herself a Christian and so there are some people that's in that MAGA space that are like, oh, if she's a Christian, she should be moving a certain way now. Not everybody's on that MAGA bullshit. Republicans, all Republicans ain't MAGA. Some are just Republicans. And they'll probably say, oh, she's a Christian now. So a certain way she got to move. But even if she does, I don't see Jay-Z, because I said Jay-Z don't really like responding to women. I'm tired of this thing doing this, man. Yeah, so I don't see Jay-Z responding. I think he threw that out there just for all the people who was talking shit about him, and for everybody that's saying Jason never responded. Like, you're out of your mind. Jay-Z was quiet for many years, and he gave people an opportunity. He didn't say something after the first time or second time or third time or fourth time. How many times and how many different rants and different nights did it go on, Nicki mentioning Jay-Z? It went on for for almost an entire year. You know, day after day. Maybe she'd take 2 days off, then it'd be 3 days in a row. Then she'd take off 2 months, then she'd come back. So it's not like Jay-Z just woke up and started shooting at people. No. Tony Busby went and put that charge on him. Come to find out, before he even sent Jay-Z the demand letter, I mean, before he even met with the girl, he sent Jay-Z a demand letter. Hadn't even met the woman yet. That's what they found out in court. Dame Dash. How long Dame Dash been talking about Jay-Z, and Jay-Z has never responded? 15 years. Jay's never said anything. The only time he mentioned Dame, it wasn't negative. He said, you can't take... He even thanked Dame Dash at his Hall of Fame ceremony. After all the shit Dame has been talking about him, he still said, can't erase the history. I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Dame Dash. You know, we don't see eye to eye, but you can't take away the history. He said about Dame a few years ago, you know, he's not going to go back at Dame Dash. He thinks Dame will figure it out. He's a smart guy. He has not said anything disparaging about Dame Dash until now, because you're now going on years and years and years. Blue Ivy's turning 13, so Blue Ivy's going to go on the internet, and Mama Tina's on the internet, and they're saying, Dame Dash said you got bad breath. Dame Dash said you can't dress. Dame Dash said you did this. Dame Dash said, Dame Dash, Dame Dash, Dame. And everybody's like telling Jay-Z that Dame Dash is shitting on him. Oceano, the same thing. The only one in state property. He was in state property with Beanie Siegel, with Freeway, with all these people. Jay-Z ain't never said nothing negative about Oceano. Month after month, for like 2-3 years now, he's been taking shots at Jay-Z. Oh, Jay-Z got Beyonce. He going around saying Jay-Z tried to have Beyonce murdered. So all these things, when people got the nerve to say Jay-Z shouldn't have responded, he's bullying the young artists. How is he bullying anybody when he wasn't saying shit? So now when he finally responds one time to everybody else, now people are all in their feelings. This man don't get on social media like that. When he gets on social media, he don't get on there to bother people. If he did something to you in the business, you need to be taking that up in court or something. If he legally did something to you, you need to be taking that up in court. If he did something that your contract said he wasn't supposed to do, that's an easy fix. Take your contract to court and bring Jay-Z to court. But when you say that, that's like me knowing. If I say, yo, I know that nigga took my wallet because I saw him when he did it. But you don't either go approach him about the wallet or call the police on him. You just go and say, yeah, so-and-so stole my wallet. And let me put a picture of him up, an AI picture. Oh, this donkey stole my wallet. Like, people are going to be like, so wait a minute. You know he stole your wallet and you're not doing anything about it? Then, nigga, you lying. That nigga ain't took your wallet. If he took your wallet, why ain't you doing something about it? So that's the way I feel about people who say all these things about Jay-Z. I think it's the cool thing to blame Jay-Z. It's the cool thing to blame Jay-Z. But you never got no proof that he did it. But it's cool to blame him. Because everybody will believe it because we're in the hate Jay-Z era. So whatever you say Jay-Z did, this guy comes out and says, yeah, he tried to pay $1 million to get Beyonce killed off. And then you got people in the comments, I believe it. They ain't got to present no evidence, nothing. Oh, he set up Aaliyah to die in a plane crash. I believe it. Okay, how would Jay-Z, what'd he do? He cut the brakes on the plane? Did he go put extra suitcases on the plane that didn't belong on there? How did Jay-Z and Beyonce cause her airplane crash? And then you got people that don't like Jay-Z or fans of Drake or fans of Nicki like, yep, I believe it. I believe it. Well, tell me how that would happen. Tell me how he set up a plane crash. And what did he pay the guy to crash the plane? Did he pay the guy to crash the plane? How did they know that Aaliyah was going to leave early? Aaliyah was in the Bahamas. She wasn't supposed to leave that day. She changed her mind and wanted to get back early. She was supposed to be out there 2 more days. But when she got down there, she changed her mind and said, you know what? I want to go back. Partly because of Dame Dash. So if they were going to set her up, how did they know she was leaving early? And then the whole bullshit about Lenny Kravitz sending the charter flight. Yeah, on the day that she was supposed to leave. They try to make it seem as though like Lenny Kravitz sent a plane for Aaliyah that day, and they said, nah, she don't need it. I'ma take it. Let her get on this little plane. That's BS. That's not what happened. Lenny Kravitz sent a plane for Aaliyah for the day that she was leaving. It was not available until 2 days later when she was going to leave. But Aaliyah said, you know what? I want to go. I want to stop off. I believe it was Miami first, and then she was headed somewhere else. But she wanted to get a couple of days of relaxation before she left out again. I think she was going to film the movie, finish filming the movie or whatever. And people just take that story and create their own story. Yeah, Lenny Kravitz sent the plane for. Don't you think Lenny Kravitz would have came out and confirmed that? Lenny Kravitz sent the plane for Aaliyah for the time that she was going to leave. But she changed her mind. Then you stuck your tongue in my cool so far, I figured you changed your mind. Keep your voice down now. I told you to stay the fuck away from me too. You didn't hear that? Oh yeah, I heard you. I heard you loud and clear, but then you stuck your tongue in my tooth and fucked me so hard. I figured you changed your mind. Keep your voice down now. How did Jag know about? Jag didn't know about Aaliyah. Jag is taking conspiracy theories that she heard Mary J. Blige. She heard what Mary J. Blige. Jaguar Wright did not know these people. All right. Jaguar Wright was not even really in the industry like that, especially when Aaliyah was alive. She takes what she hears from other people, just like the thing when she said, and they drugged her. She got that from a book. She got that from a book, a fictional book that somebody wrote. She tried to make it seem as though like, oh, she's an industry insider. They drugged her. She didn't want to get in a plane. She didn't like small planes. Aaliyah chose to leave early on her own. Nobody made her leave early. Oh, they drugged her and drugged her on the plane. Sean Carter, you and your wife. I'm on to you, Sean Carter. I got the receipts. And I got the bald head to prove it. Like, shut the fuck up, Jaguar. Like, you took that shit from that damn book. Aaliyah had a headache, right? Now, this is what I got from her dancer, right? What Bobby said about Jay-Z. We can get into Bobby Shmurda as well, right? We can get into Bobby Shmurda as well, because Bobby Shmurda, all of those things happened to Bobby Shmurda before. I'll get into Bobby Shmurda in a minute. Um, she heard Mary J. Blige on BET say, "I think that was a murder. It was a spiritual industry murder." This is what Mary J. Blige said. Now, again, those things have been rumored to take place. Industry sacrifice, industry murder. Those are, of course, those are nothing that you'll never be able to prove. But it was said, is talk in the industry for many, many years that there were industry sacrifices. Oh, we want to move this person out of the way, or this person um betrayed us, so we want something out like that. Again, there's no way you can prove it, but if you believe in spirits, if you believe in witchcraft, if you believe in hoodoo and voodoo, right? Mary J. Blige said she believed it was a murder because that girl's not supposed to be dead. She believed that, when she was asked about that, Mary J. Blige then tried to walk it back and was like, "Oh, that people do witchcraft and put curses on people all the time." And when they were like, "Oh, we thought that you meant like somebody else." Oh, no, no, no. That's not what I meant. This is Mary J. Blige after she said that on BET. But then when somebody asked about it again, like, "Oh, so are you saying like a certain person or whatever?" By that time, I guess whoever already done called Mary J. Blige up, and Mary was trying to act like she didn't remember nothing she said. No, no, but what I'm saying is, people do witchcraft all the time, and people put curses on you. That's all I was saying. Oh, we thought you was talking about somebody. Oh, no, 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 absolutely not. So my thing is this, right? And I felt the same way. And people saying like, "Oh yeah, you just jocking Jay-Z," but I was doing the same thing for Drake during the Kendrick battle. I'm just not taking Drake over Hove. That's where the buck stops. I'll take Drake over anybody not named Hove, Rakim, Redman, um, LL Cool J, or Reverend Run. Anybody after that, I'll take Drake. Drake's like my sixth favorite rapper ever. So when the Kendrick beef was going on, I was 100% on Drake's side. Anybody that was in my lives to tell, I didn't think the whole PDF thing was cool. I said, if you ain't got no proof of calling that man no PDF, you shouldn't call him no PDF because that shit sticks with you. This man got a son in school. Probably had these kids talk about saying, A minor, OV ho, Adonis, OV ho. That's not cool. I said that the whole entire battle. that it wasn't cool. And I tied them calling that man a PDF to them gunshots. I don't care what nobody says, because he had been living there 10 years and there had never been no issue with no gunshots at his house. And now all of a sudden when this comes out, you got people screaming, fuck Drake, and then shoot through his door. That's because they saw online people saying, yeah, he's a pedophile. We don't want no pedophiles around here. My thing is, by all means, I'm not trying to give nobody a pass if they really did something, though. If they really did something. I'm not going to go and put something on somebody just because I don't like them. Right? Bobby Shmurda and Jay-Z. First of all, Bobby Shmurda got himself put in jail through his records. I learned, Jaja taught me how to game on it when I was 4th grade. I'm with Trigger, I'm with Roger, I'm with A-Ron. Meat caught a body about a week ago. And all these cops were sitting there with pens like, oh, A-Ron, did he say A-Ron or A-Ron? A-Ron? Okay. Rewind it back. I'm with Trigger, I'm with Roger, I'm with A-Ron. Oh, A-Ron. Write down that. Look up A-Ron. I've been swinging dope since the 3rd grade. I learned the game from Trigger, whatever hell he said. Meek, who caught a body about a week ago? Meek, let's look him up. Look that guy up. So I'll tell you about Alex Spyro. Alex Spyro didn't come into effect until after he was already caught. Until after he was already caught. Okay? Alex Spyro pretty much got Bobby Shmurda a 3-year plea deal. He's complaining that Alex Spyro wanted him to cop a plea. Well, yeah, if you didn't, you were looking at 25 years, sir. Because when you went into jail, you got in trouble again because you had a girlfriend slip a knife into the jail. This is before Alex Spyro was even in the picture. So you had a girlfriend come and sneak you a knife in the jail, and you got caught and you got more time. So Rock Nation had plans on signing you if you get out of jail. So what did they do? They went and bought you out of your contract with Epic, because Epic was like, hey, we can't afford to put no more money into them. Epic was going to leave your black ass in jail. So now that Jay-Z gets Rock Nation comes, Jay-Z linked up with Karen Civil. Karen Civil hooked that deal up. Jay-Z linked up with Karen Civil. Karen Civil and Desiree worked out the differences. They got Alex Spyro to be his lawyer. Alex Spyro comes and takes it down from a 25-year bid to 3 years with good behavior and the rest during probation. If I'm you, I would be thanking Jay-Z and Alex Spiro. Because if Jay-Z and Rock Nation didn't get your black ass out of jail, you would still be doing the Smyrna dance in Santiago Bay. You'll be Smyrna dancing in Pelican Bay. What I could do with you. If Jay-Z didn't send Alex Spiro there, this Negro would still be in Pelican Bay doing the Smyrna dance. So now, once he gets out of jail, right, because Alex Spiro gets him a plea deal and then the rest on probation. So instead of doing, he was originally going to do 20 years and then 7, but I think he only ended up doing like 5. Alex Spiro was able for him to cop to a lesser plea, to a lesser charge. Alex Spiro was able to maneuver him out and get out of jail, and you just got to keep your nose clean. Now, once you're out of jail and you have already agreed that if they get, it's kind of like with Tupac, they had the same type of deal that Tupac had with Death Row. Suge said, if I bail you out, see, what happened with me and Tupac was I had a deal that nobody was coming to get Pac out of jail. So we had a deal. I said, if Death Row come and get you out of jail, you got to sign the Death Row. Because ain't nobody else coming to get you. And Tupac said, if you get me out of this box, then I'll sign whatever you want me to sign. And that's the same type of deal that Bobby Shmurda signed with Rock Nation. Epic is going to leave me in here. Epic's going to leave me in jail. Well, if Rock Nation, if we can get you out of your contract and we can get you out of jail, will you sign with Rock Nation? The nigga said, absolutely. Okay, we sent in Alex Spiro, our best attorney. And he didn't even pay for him. But now that he got out of jail and his deal ain't what he wanted to be, because listen, Jay-Z is a businessman like everybody else, right? And what do businessmen do? They're always going to make the best business move for them. Jay-Z is not the only person that does that. They all do it. Everybody tries to act like Jay-Z is like this evil person that just screws people over. Everybody that makes a deal with you is going to make the best deal for them. Yeah, they're going to look out for you too. But if they can lowball you and save money, everybody wants to save money, right? You go to a grocery store and you usually get Nabisco Oreos, right? You usually get the Oreo cookies. But this week, the vanilla Oreos are on sale. Most of the time, you're going to be like, you know what? I don't really fuck with vanilla Oreos like that. But they on sale. Yeah, $1.50 cheaper. I'ma fuck with the vanilla Oreos this week. Everybody, though, I don't care how much money you got, you gonna try to get a sale. Me right now, if I order something online, right? If I order from Amazon and it's $3.50, and they say you can pay the $3.50 right now, or we'll give you 5 payments of $70. And instead of sending the $3.50 right now, you could do the $70. I'm gonna be like, let's see, what else I gotta pay? Oh shit. If I could just send in the $70 today, I could take that other $280 and pay 3 other bills. Yeah, y'all gonna do that. You know what I mean? You could it's gonna save you money, and now you can put that money that you saving somewhere else. So just like Death Row and Rock Nation, we're getting you out of jail, Negro. We're giving you the one of the best lawyers in the country, and you ain't even paying for him. But you got to sign. If we do that for you, this is the deal we want from you. Now, you don't got to sign it. But if you don't sign it, there's no reason for us to get you out of jail. If you're going to say, we're not going to bail you out of jail, and then you go sign with somebody else, and that's not going to happen. So when he's talking about Alex Spiro made him to, what do all these charges have to do with? All these charges were in place, sir, before you even met Alex Spiro. As far as your record deal goes, you signed whatever you signed. You can't, now that you're out of jail and thinking, damn, that was a bad deal. You can't just go back now and just start blaming Jay-Z and blaming Alex Spiro. He ain't have dealings with you like that. I don't think I see not one picture of you and Jay-Z on the internet. So you probably had no dealings with Jay-Z at all. It always kills me that people, and I'm not saying you, but people will always bring up what other people say bad about Jay, right? But has Uzi said anything bad? No. 21 Savage was just on a podcast talking about how Jay-Z got him out of immigration. How Jay-Z may have been the reason of why he was able to stay in the United States. Jay-Z don't owe 21 Savage nothing. He don't know 21 Savage like that. 21 Savage is a young rapper. Jay-Z don't really fuck with that generation like that. But Jay-Z went and gave 21 Savage, here's that name again, Alex Spiro, sent him over there, got 21 Savage out of that situation, got him away from ICE so they couldn't deport him. Jay-Z tongue lashed him and paused and said, this is a travesty how you treated this young black man. 21 Savage was on a podcast thanking Jay-Z. You know, Jay-Z is pretty much a reason why, you know, I was able to get out of it. I may have been back in another country. He said, and then once I got on feet and I got my bag, I sent the bag to Jay for the lawyer. You know what Jay-Z did? Jay-Z sent the money back to 21 Savage and said, I don't want your money. You don't got to pay me. Pay me back by being great. by being as great as you can be. That's how you can pay me back. See, but nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how Jay-Z got DMX. They always talk about, oh yeah, the old video footage of when DMX was complaining that Jay-Z wasn't pushing his records when he was in. He's jealous because I beat him in the battle in the 90s. He come here, he nigga jealous. He don't want the dogs to see. I was showing him on Def Jam. I was here, the big dog here. He was jealous because I'm one running Def Jam. He don't want to put the record. They'll talk about that. What's up, Crimson? But what they won't talk about is how when DMX owed Def Jam $12 million, he wanted to go to another label. Def Jam was holding him hostage and said that he owed them $12 million. Jay-Z signed off on DMX leaving Def Jam. And Jay-Z said, you know what? You ain't got to pay nothing. I'll take care of it. Free and clear. $12 million. He walked away from Def Jam, was able to go get his masters, go independent with his own record label. I think it was Red Line or Bloodline Records. Jay-Z enabled him. Wasn't none of them crackers doing that. Wasn't none of them white men gonna do that for DMX. Jay-Z did that. But nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. Because it don't fit their narrative. They want to go with this TikTok narrative of Jay-Z being this evil, demonic person who hurts black people. Who did he hurt? Who has Jay-Z hurt? And whenever I ask people that, they never come with any evidence. They just come with conspiracy theories. Oh, he groomed Foxy. He slept with Foxy at 14. How do you know that? How do you know that? Did you see him fucking Foxy, bro? Just because they made records together and he used to pick her up from high school to take her to the studio, how does picking her up from high school and taking her to the studio with Clark Kent, how does that equal up to he was fucking her? Because they were making records. Well, Nas was taking her to the studio at 16. Was Nas fucking her too? No, not Nas. We don't say anything about Nas. Nas is entitled. Nas is allowed to take her to the studio at 16. He wasn't doing nothing with her. How do you know that? You don't. Just like you don't know if Jay-Z was fucking. So the only thing you can do, since we don't know, the only thing we can do is ask him. We can ask Foxy. We can ask Jay-Z. Since we don't know for sure. And maybe one of them will slip up. Maybe one of them confess. They asked Foxy Brown. They've asked her this question multiple times. And Foxy Brown said, I never slept with Jay-Z underage. I don't know how many times I have to tell people that. Every single time we was together, my cousin Clark Kent was with us. If he would pick me up from school, we would pick up Clark after that. Plus, my brothers were gangsters. They would never have allowed Jay-Z to do anything to me they guarded me with their life. Foxy Brown had got tired of answering that question so much. She was crying on the radio one time. Said she was tired of it. She was tired of people putting that on her when she said numerous times she did not sleep with Jay-Z underage. And then what did Jay-Z say? I never put my cock in the fox's box. But I did open up Pandora's box. So if they're telling you it didn't happen, and you don't have proof that it happened, why are you still saying that this man raped Foxy Brown? But you're not saying Nas did it. Then they put a picture up, which is just plain laziness. And Nicki was a victim of this too. She did it too. They put a picture up of Jay-Z and Aaliyah holding hands. And they have on there Jay-Z 30 28 and Aaliyah 15. And people just take that picture, copy and paste it and say, oh, look, this picture says Jay-Z 28, Aaliyah 15. Well, did you ever think to go look up that event that picture's from? Go look up the event that the picture's from. The year's going to come up that the picture's from. Now go add them years. Go look up on Aaliyah's Wikipedia when she was born. Now subtract the year that picture came out from Aaliyah's date of birth. Does it say 15? No, it doesn't. Aaliyah was not dating Jay-Z when she was 15. Aaliyah didn't even know Jay-Z at 15. Aaliyah was married to R. Kelly at 15. Dame Dash said him and Jay-Z was both courting Aaliyah at the same time. So that means Dame Dash was dating her at 15 too? No, Aaliyah was 21 years old. That picture is from a video shoot. I think it's a Little Kim video shoot. Aaliyah was 21 or 20 when she started dating Jay-Z, 21 when she started dating Dame. She died at 22 years old. But people just want to go with this TikTok conspiracy and say he was with Aaliyah when she was 15. That's totally 100% false. And all you got to do is look it up. It's like incredible. The same way how I defended Drake. Oh, he texts Millie Bobby Brown. Now listen. It's not about, they're both in the industry. They're both in the industry. If she's a star, Ariana Grande was going over Tom Hanks' house. Right? They're both in the industry. Now, we don't know what was taking place. But people that are in the industry, when they're young, if they got friends in the industry, they're going to have some friends. If they're a youngin', they're going to have some friends that's older that have their number or that text them. So did it look a little weird that Drake was texting an 11-year-old? The "oh, I miss you" was a little weird. But the girl said nothing ever happened. Nothing inappropriate ever happened. I was happy that I had someone in the industry to be cool with. And he's not the only adult that I would have conversation with in DM. So Millie Bobby Brown came out and said that. And people still said, nah, oh, what's he doing? Texting an 11-year-old. Pedo. The girl came out and said it was nothing. So why are y'all still calling the man a pedo? Then the 17-year-old, all the video footage about Drake kissing a 17-year-old and making comments about, well, you old enough tonight, or whatever the case may be, well, you an adult tonight. Again, context. That girl was at that concert with her father. Before Drake pulled her on stage, the security went to her and went to the father and said, is it okay if we pull your daughter on stage for songs? 3 songs. The pop said okay. So the father's at the concert with the daughter. On top of that, that girl came out years later and said, Drake is not a PDF. That was nothing. It was nothing. He kissed me on the cheek. It was nothing. And she said, 17, she said, even if you want to say with something, 17 is legal where I'm from. So even if you thought it was inappropriate, he couldn't get in trouble because the person was not illegal. Now, would I be kissing a 17-year-old because it's legal? Absolutely not. But he didn't break the law. You might think he's a little weird, but you can't get arrested for being weird. So I'm all for holding someone accountable if they did it. You know what I'm saying? If they did it. If Drake got caught smashing a 16-year-old, or if he got caught tonguing down a 16-year-old, then by all means, he deserved what he get. By all means, you should flame him, cook him, call him a PDF, whatever else. But how you gonna call that man a pedophile when he got a son that's gonna be on the internet? He got a father, he got a mother. You know what I'm saying? Now the whole thing about, well, Jay-Z is a part of them calling Drake a pedophile. No, he isn't. Not Like Us had already been number 1 twice. Not Like Us had already did the damage on Drake's name, and Jay-Z had nothing to do with it. What did Jay-Z do? He conducted smart business. Kendrick was the hottest artist that year. Kendrick was the hottest artist. He was up for 5 Grammys or however many Grammys he was up for. And he's got the hottest song right now of the year. Did it help that Drake and Jay-Z don't really get along? I'm sure that didn't bother Jay-Z one bit that he was talking about Drake. I'll give you that. But Jay-Z and Drake are not friends. They've never been friends. Drake has taken several shots at Jay over the year on record. Jay has fired back. So they've never really been friends. They've taken shots at each other on the same record. Never been friends. So you can't get mad at him for conducting smart business. And at the same time, smacking, giving Jake a little, a little aha, because he don't really mess with him. But Jay-Z did not cause the hate train on Drake. The damage was already done. If Kendrick would have never done the Super Bowl, it still would have had the same impact that it did. The Super Bowl came out. The Super Bowl was February 2025. That record came out in April or May of 2024. That record was already out 9 months prior to the Super Bowl. So how you gonna blame Jay-Z? If somebody sees me stealing, right? If somebody sees me stealing something out of a bakery, a $3 black and white cookie, right? And I stole this $3 black and white cookie. 2 weeks later, the police knock on my door to arrest me, and they say, "You're under arrest for robbing First National Bank, stealing, $100,000." Wait, what do you mean? What are you talking about? You went out there, and you stole money from this theater. I'm thinking like, wait a minute. I went out there and stole a black and white cookie. But I ain't stole no I stole a black and white cookie, but I have not stole no what is it? I ain't robbed no bank. I haven't robbed a bank. Right? So what's that knocking on my door? Let me see something. Knocking on my door like they the damn police. But they come and say, "Yeah, you're under arrest for robbing a First National Bank." What First National Bank? Hell, I stole a black and white cookie from the bakery. You know what I'm saying? If I get caught, I want to get in trouble for stealing the cookie. Don't get me in trouble for robbing no damn bank. I ain't robbed no bank. You can't be like, oh yeah, he stole a cookie, robbed the bank, same thing. He was stealing. He should get in trouble. He should get the same. No, 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 no. I should get in trouble if I get caught stealing a cookie. I need to get the sentence or the punishment that people get for stealing cookies, not the punishment that people get for robbing banks. And that's the same thing I said about Diddy. I wasn't saying Diddy didn't deserve no time. I was saying Diddy didn't deserve 30 years for no damn threesomes. There's people out here doing worse than that. There's people out here throwing orgies. They not getting 30 years in jail. He didn't deserve no 30 years. And that's why he didn't get 30 years. He was watching some guy smash his girl, bro. Like, and people, oh yeah, he need to go to jail for life. Or they need to give him the death penalty. People was actually saying they need to give Diddy the death penalty. Like, what? Are you all right? I said, what he definitely did was bring sex workers across state lines. That is illegal. He got charged with that. So, what they needed to do, I had no problem with them charging him with that. But what they needed to do was look up everybody that was a first time felon that got in trouble for bringing sex workers across state line. And you average out all of the people's time that got time for that, and they first timers, and you average, and that's what you should give Diddy. Whatever the average is, you can't go and give Diddy 50 months when everybody else is the average for that charge was 14 months because he's a celebrity, because you're trying to prove a point, because he's black and rich. You're going to give him 50 months when everybody else got an average of 14 months? How's that fair? Oh, for all the things that he did, he deserved. Nah, he didn't get charged with that. He didn't get caught doing that. Oh, for all the wrong business deals that he would treat, but nah. When if they take him to court for that, then whatever punishment, if he's found guilty of signing bad contracts, or if they found that, then he needs to get the punishment for that. You can't add everything up and say, oh yeah, just give him, he deserves 50 months because all the shit that he did. No. Didn't force nobody to sign no contract, just like he didn't force them chicks. Look at Daphne now. Look at Daphne Joy. All the people they're saying victim, she's a victim. Look at her. Look at her right now. Diddy's in jail, right? So Diddy ain't making her do it now. Look at what she doing. OnlyFans, going around twerking, nude photos, get in front of the camera. She's trying to capitalize off of this sex tape that just got leaked. How's that Diddy's fault? Diddy's in locked up. And they want to call them victims. Cassie. Yeah, Cassie was a victim of domestic violence. 100%. She was a victim of domestic violence. 100%, I agree. She was not a victim of trafficking, bro. She was not trafficked anywhere. As proven in the trial, she could have left anytime she wants. So, oh yeah, he was gonna come after her. So what? What dude don't try to convince their girlfriend to come back to them. If a girl ups and leaves and a dude don't want to break up, every single dude is gonna be like, yo, what's going on? Yo, come back. When you coming back? Yo, why don't you come back? Please don't leave. Like, every dude is gonna do that. But he didn't go and hold her hostage and grab her by a rope and say, oh, hell no, drag her, get her by it. They act like whenever she ran away, Diddy went, grabbed her by her hair and dragged her back like a caveman. No, bitch, you ain't going nowhere. No, it was not like that. That's how they try to make it seem. In the trial, you saw Everything was not like that at all. Diddy never once said, if you don't come back, I'll kill you. Never once. Never once. He never went and physically dragged her back. The thing with that whole video, that video was looped. Diddy dragged her maybe 3 feet, and then he let her go and went back to the room. They try to make it seem like Cassie was trying to escape a freak off, and Diddy took her, got her at the elevator, and then dragged her back to the hotel room to finish the freak off. That is not what happened. That is not what happened. She had Diddy's phone. Diddy dragged her. He was wrong for hitting her, of course. He was wrong for hitting her, wrong for kicking her, but then he dragged her about 3 feet, got it, and let her go and went back to the room. Because if you look at the tape, she got back up, put her hand a bun, and went back for the elevator again. Then he noticed that he didn't have a phone in the room, so he went back in the bed and was like, "Yo, where's my phone?" And got the phone back from her, and then went back into the room. So there was no, oh, he dragged her back into the room for the freak-out. That was all propaganda. That is not what was said at trial. That's not what was said at trial. Just like the whole thing, drugs in the baby oil, all that was cap, bullshit, bogus that they put in them lawsuits. Once they heard the word baby oil, that's all people needed to hear. Oh, let's say that there were drugs in the baby oil. So everybody started writing up lawsuits and civil suits saying they were drugged through baby oil. You can't even get drugged through baby oil. It's impossible. It's impossible. If I put cocaine in my baby oil and then I rub the baby oil cocaine on my skin, I'm not going to get high. Right? If I put KGB or whatever the hell it's called in baby oil and shake it up and rub the baby oil all over my body, I'm not going to get high. It's impossible. So all that stuff about baby oil with big drug was all lies. And in the trial, every single person, including Cassie, not even Cassie said that there were drugs in the baby. She said, absolutely not. There was no drugs in the baby oil. No. All the sex workers, they all said they never was off of drugs. The sex workers said they were all sober. And Diddy never offered them any drugs. What other Jay-Z conspiracy? Jay-Z owes Nicki Minaj money. Let her prove it. Let her prove it. Everybody's just going by what she's saying. Nicki Minaj ain't a perfect person. It's not like she ain't never lied before. We all lied before. We've all lied before. Nobody's perfect. But if that man owed you $100 million, Nicki Minaj, you're very rich. I'm sure you've had an accountant. Burt Bedell, I'm sure, was your accountant at some point. Go to Burt Bedell, like, yeah, I need the records of once I joined Title until the time that he sold Title. I need all my records. And then you present that to a judge and say, this is how Jay-Z and Rock Nation owes me $100 million. I didn't get paid for this stream, that stream, that, and show it to the judge. And the judge see all that stuff and they say, you got a point here. Okay. Nigga, somebody owed me $40 a couple of weeks ago. I was hunting them down. I'm hunting them down because they said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna pay you on the 17th or whatever." Okay, if you say you're gonna pay me on the 17th, best believe on the 17th I'm calling you. Right. Again, if it's more than a title deal, you have to have proof. Because again, I can say uh Ray April, like I used this before. Don't get offended, but I said before. I can say Ray April, we were talking in DM and she promised me some pussy. Where's that pussy you promised me? Where's that pussy you told me you was gonna give me? Ray April? Does that mean that's true? If I come on my live and say you promised me some pussy, just because I said that, does that mean that happened? What do I have to present to make that true? What you gonna say? Oh, I told you that? Where the DM at? Show us the DM. Why I said I was gonna give your dumb ass some pussy. Show the DM. Am I right or wrong? Anybody could come and say anything. Anybody can come and say anything. You got to have proof. When you talk about somebody owes you that amount of money, because I could come on in there and say, yeah, Jay-Z owe me $5 million. We did a deal. I wrote some song for Beyonce. That's what everybody seemed to come on and say. I wrote some song for Beyonce and they promised me $5 million. I wrote some songs, they got it. He said he was gonna send me the $5 million. He never did. What's the name of the songs? The name of the song is it. I love you forever. Uh Till Tuesday. And you can say all these things. These are the name of the songs. They took the name of the song. Right. Hopefully she will. But I think she would have said it by now. You know what I mean? But again, I'm all for this. If somebody owes, I don't care who it is. I don't care if he owes her $20,000. If you present proof that Jay-Z owes you $20,000, then that man should pay you your $20,000. I'm not for nobody getting gypped, but I'm not for somebody just gaslighting and accusing people and people getting accused when there's no proof. How do you know that person's telling the truth? That person could have a axe to grind against me, and they just telling you a lie just because they know everybody gonna believe it. But if she show up at court and have some receipts from title or something, the judge be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you right, you right. You didn't get paid for this right here. You didn't get paid for that month. You didn't get paid for that month. Nope. Here's right here. You could tell I didn't get no check from title, no check for that." And then they see that and be like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's receipts." But just telling me that's not good enough for me. I know a lot of people just believe that everything that Nicki Minaj says is written in stone. But if you're gonna accuse somebody of something, like they going around saying that this man killed some woman named Kathy White, and Cassie White was his mistress. That's a story that Jaguar Wright started. She got that story from Jackie Jasper, right? Jackie Jasper's an old messy blogger who had it out for Claudia Jordan. He was obsessed with Claudia Jordan, right? He wanted Claudia Jordan. Claudia Jordan was dating a guy at the time. This blogger, he was obsessed with Claudia Jordan when she was younger. This is like going back 2000. This is before Blue Ivy was born. So, in order to try to cause problems between Kathy, um, Claudia Jordan, and her wife and her boyfriend, this blogger put this story out and said that Kathy White, a publicist who's no longer with us, was Jay-Z's mistress. Right? Now, there are no pictures anywhere of Kathy White and Jay-Z together. The only picture is of Kathy White, Claudia Jordan, and their friend, I think her name is Nicki, in Vegas at Tao. And then maybe like 10 feet away from them is Diddy and Jay-Z. And I think Cassie was there. They're not even in the same picture. They're not even in the same circumference. But somehow or another, Kathy White was Jay-Z's mistress. Now, they just totally disregard the fact that Kathy White was engaged to Malcolm. What was Malcolm's last name? Malcolm Reed? And Malcolm found Kathy White dead in their bed. She was sleeping and she never woke up. She was engaged to Malcolm. So there is no proof that she was ever even alone in a room with Jay-Z because there's not any pictures at all anywhere of them together. So how can you prove? And then they said that that baby, Blue Ivy, is Kathy White's baby. And Beyonce killed Kathy White, had Kathy White killed, and then stole Kathy White's baby. And Blue Ivy is Jay-Z's baby with Kathy White. And I mean, like, come on, y'all. Not mentioning that Kathy White died before Blue was born. So I'm going to assume they went and cut Kathy's stomach open at 4 months, took the baby. I mean, it's ridiculous. And people believe this stuff because people get on TikTok talking fast. And did you know? Yes, bitch, I know. I was there. I lived through it. Y'all Negroes is making up stories and you try to present it back, something that happened 25 years ago. And now you trying to present it back and tell people of the day, did you know that Jay-Z had a mistress? Let me tell you what happened. I fuck you don't tell me what happened. You was 5 years old when this story first came out. There's no proof of it. Claudia Jordan has spoke about this many times. And she said, he did not date my friend. Kathy was not dating Jay-Z. She never mentioned she's dating Jay-Z. We never went out anywhere with Jay-Z. She's at that one party that was in Tao during during 4th of July. She's like, all the celebrities go to Vegas during 4th of July. We was there. He was there, Diddy was there, Cassie was there, a whole bunch of celebrities were there. She said she was not seeing Jay-Z. She had her own boyfriend. No matter how many times Claudia Jordan says that, you got people like Jaguar Wright will come back and say Jay-Z killed Kathy White. And then she'll revert back to that story that Jackie Jasper put out because he was obsessed with Claudia Jordan. No proof, none whatsoever. Had a relationship. Wait. Yeah, with Emil. I mean, Emil never said that. Emil, if I'm not mistaken, Emil was married with a kid. Emil was married with a child. And all the times they spoke to Emil, she never said she was in a relationship with Jay-Z. She basically said she ended up breaking up from Rockefeller because she had a child and she really couldn't put the time in for tour and stuff like that. Now, was Jay-Z jealous that Emil had somebody else and wasn't interested? Maybe. Who knows? I wouldn't be, because to me, Emil is one of those chicks that I never got the hype. Just because she light skinned, everybody thinks she has to be a bad bitch because she's light skinned. She was a light skinned chick that was not attractive to me. She always looked like a transgender. Like, to me, she always looked like a transgender. And she had no body. She was another one, built like freaking Caitlin Clark. She had no body, no boobs, no ass, and she looked like a transgender to me. So I don't know how people are like, oh yeah, Jay-Z's interested. I'm like, damn, he's interested in Emil after he had Blue Cantrell, fine ass, and free. He's interested in Emil. Huh. Rosario Dawson, and he's interested in Emil. Aaliyah, and he's interested in Emil. Emil was not nowhere near. She looked in that video. 12 a.m. all the way to the club. 1 a.m. about to shake the bar. 2 a.m. now I'm checking the men. 3 a.m. now I buy me drinks. 4 a.m. exit the club. 5 a.m. think he getting some buzz. 6 a.m. nigga still ain't buzz. 6:15 Emil get up. 7 a.m. I'ma call my friend. She looked like a straight man. You right about that, April. I never thought about that. You right about that. Not that I have Bia in my head. She does favor her a little, but Bia got boobs, like she has a little bit of a body. She has a little bit of a body, right? Now, Jay-Z, as far as his relationships go, and as far as him cheating on Beyonce, yeah, that's documented. Beyonce documented that, right? But that's up to Beyonce to leave her husband or decide to stay with her husband. So she obviously made Lemonade. During Lemonade, I don't know who the fuck you think you is, right? I don't nigga, nigga. Right. So Beyonce is the one that decided she gonna put out Lemonade, and she forgave her husband. That's on Beyonce. You know what I mean? That's on Beyonce. She know he was cheating. The other thing that I need to address about Jay-Z. Oh, Rihanna said that he locked her in the office to 3 a.m. and said, you either sign the contract or there's only one way, two ways you're going out of here. Either you sign it out with a deal signed or you go out the window, and we're on the 29th floor. Now, let's just please use our heads here. Do you really think if Rihanna didn't sign that contract, Jay-Z was going to murder Rihanna? Let's come on, man. Come on. So, do you think that every single person that sat down with Rock Nation signed? No. Didn't Tyler the Creator just say he turned down a deal with Rock Nation? And he was way bigger than Tory Lanez. So why didn't they set up Tyler the Creator? He also owns all his work and owns his catalog. He sat down and said he's had a meeting with Jay-Z and Rock Nation, and they offered him a deal, and he said, nah, you cool and everything, but I like creative control. The same thing that they say Tory was saying. But when Tory allegedly turned Jay-Z down, Jay-Z was so distraught that he didn't get Tory Lanez that he had Tory Lanez set up. Well, why didn't he have Tyler the Creator set up, who's way bigger than Tory Lanez can ever be? And Tyler the Creator turned down a deal with Jay-Z. So why didn't Jay-Z have Tyler the Creator set up and put in jail? Come on, man. Like, y'all try to act like, I'm not saying y'all in particular, but these people try to act like Tory Lanez was Michael Jackson. Like, oh man, I gotta have Tory Lanez. I have to. You would think he was Drake. Tory Lanez ain't never had a #1 record in his life on Billboard. He's never had a #1 record. So please tell me why Jay-Z would be so pressed to sign Tory Lanez. Someone please explain to me. They was acting like Tory Lanez was Michael Jackson. Oh, Jay-Z was mad that Tory didn't want to sign to him, so he had him set up. And Jay-Z, so Jay-Z was going to risk, Jay-Z was going to risk his legacy, career, and freedom. Because if that ever came back that he did that, he'd be in big trouble. So he's going to risk his legacy, his career, and his freedom for Tory Lanez because Tory Lanez didn't sign with him. Come on, y'all. People have to be smart in that. It's got to the point where they just want something to be true about Jay, so they're gonna believe it. Me personally, people say, "Oh yeah, you're biased." Right. Well, again, I've had personal experiences with Jay-Z, and my experiences with Jay-Z was positive. Now, maybe if I had negative experience with him, maybe I'd be like, "Yeah, he ain't shit." But I have not had any negative experience with him. And I don't have anyone, and I don't know anyone who's had a negative experience with him. All I know is when I did my movie Disciple, Shout out to my girl Terrell Hicks. I did a movie called Disciple with Terrell Hicks in it from A Bronx Tale and Belly. So Disciple, we was trying to set up a party to come and show the trailer to all the executive movie execs and movie studios, whatever. We didn't have nowhere to show it. So my girl G um got us in contact with Jay-Z. And this is when Jay-Z had the 40/40 Club in New York. G said, you might be able to show it at the 40/40. But she was like, but Jay-Z charge. He gonna charge a lot. Like the 40/40 was popping back then. He charged a lot, so maybe y'all can work out some sort of deal, right? We sent the trailer over to Jay-Z. Jay-Z saw the trailer, but he didn't have any idea that we were black. So he came back through our people and was like, yeah, they can rent it out for 2 hours prior to 11 p.m. because that's when the club get really busy. And I think he said it would be like 9,000 or something like that. So we was like $9,000, and like, damn, we gonna have to find somewhere else. So we meant to meet up with him to hand him the trailer and discuss. And he said, "Wait a minute." He's like, "Oh, y'all are the Clark brothers? This is Jay-Z. Y'all are the Clark brothers?" Me and my brother said, "Yeah, Wes Clark, Heaven Clark." Now the movie Disciple, other than Terrell Hicks, it had mostly white people in it, right? He said, "Yo, I'm not even gonna lie. I thought y'all was white boys. I thought y'all was white." I th- I'm not gonna lie. I thought y'all were white boys. I thought y'all were white guys. And we said, nah, we black. He said, hold on a minute. Went in the back. Came out. I'll tell you what. You can rent the club for 3 hours. I believe it was like from 8 to 11 or from 7:30 to 10:30, something like that. You can show the trailer and you you can have the all upstairs. And the only thing you got to do is tip my bartenders. He said, forget the money, forget the 9,000. Because I didn't know y'all wasn't black. I thought y'all was white. What's up, Couture Bay? I was like, what? And I called, I said, yo, Jay let us rent the 40/40. And he said we ain't gotta pay him the 9,000. He just said tip his bartenders. That's my experience with Jay-Z. So you think I'm a dog this man out? For what? For what? Because all that stuff they talking about, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. He said, y'all black, keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. Keep going. Keep doing your thing. I mean, so I don't be believing all that stuff. Again, nobody's perfect. And like I've always told y'all, show me an honest businessman, and people say, "Oh, I'm an honest businessman." If you're a multimillionaire and billionaire, trust me, you're not an honest businessman. Because there's no way, there is no way for anybody to have a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar business or industry or whatever, and your hands are 100% clean. It's impossible. Impossible. I'm not saying you did something illegal. That's possible. But you've done something dirty. Just because you do something dirty, that don't mean that's illegal. You done stab somebody in the back, or you done cutthroat somebody, or you done lowballed somebody. Trust me, it's done it. Knowingly or unknowingly. Show me an honest businessman, I'll show you a broke businessman. There's people out here cutting their friend's throat for a promotion at Cablevision. You and your friend going for a promotion. You've been waiting for this promotion. Your girlfriend is up for the same promotion. And somebody come and give you an inside tip and say, "Yo, just between me and you, they got 3 overtime shifts coming up. I'm just letting you know, if you work them them 3 nights that they got coming up, just between me and you, I'm not gonna tell Jennifer, but I'm letting you know, if you work those 3 nights, they gonna give you that promotion. Whichever one of y'all agree to work them 3 overnights, they gonna give that person that agreed to do that, they gonna give them a promotion. Tell me you gonna tell your girlfriend about it. Tell me you gonna tell your friend, hey girl, may the best girl win. You know that if you work the overtime, they're gonna give one of us. Ain't no damn way you telling your friend shit. Ain't no way you telling her. You know, but okay, I got the inside tip. I'm gonna go work this overtime. Ain't no damn way. Look at the Facebook dude. Perfect example. Look at the Facebook dude. Y'all can still hear me? I don't see my microphone moving no more. Can y'all still Couture, can you still hear me? Mm, tell me if you want me to. Hold on. Give me one more time. Y'all let a Negro know if y'all. Damn, I don't see none of y'all no more. What the hell happened to my screen? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Where y'all at? I don't see. Oh, it says you in here, but I don't see none of y'all. Maybe it's. Man. Get a new phone too. All right, y'all. Guess I'll get up out of here then. All right. Anyway, y'all, if you want to support the channel, it's a $ Heaven Hollywood. That's my cash app. If y'all want to help the boy out, still recovering from this surgery, but I wanted to come on here and give y'all a little insight about what's going on with the whole Cardi B situation and Nicki Minaj. Cannot confirm that she's in the studio, and I don't really know if I don't think that that's the first thing from my mind. And Cardi B is in the studio, and I don't know whether she probably won't respond back to Latto via music since Latto did the interview, Cardi B did the statement, so I doubt she'll be responding back in the studio. But she did go to the studio late night on a late night tip with Partisan, so we'll see if she drops something, maybe drop a line. You know what I mean? But anyway, I thank y'all for chilling with me. And this has been another installment of the Heaven Hollywood Experience. Catch you on the next one.